Alright, so I know my last video was kind of long, so I'm going to do a short video and keep it to one topic. I don't know if my ADHD will allow that, but we're going to try anyway. So, I'm trying to clean up and get ready for putting the blowers and the coolers and everything else back in. I'm working on pulling those apart, putting new gaskets on back at home at the shop. And I got the valve covers off, and on a Detroit, the injectors are inside the valve covers. So you got to pull the valve covers out. And while I've got the engine ripped halfway down, I want to pull an injector and see what it looks like, and maybe pull a couple of them just as a sample to see how bad they are, if they're bad, or if I need them cleaned or checked or whatever. So to do that, you got to take off the fuel rails here and here, and then this, and then that, and that holds the injector on. So I'm going to undo all this stuff and pull out the injector, and I'll go step by step. Okay, so I've used a 1/2-inch wrench to get the two rails off. I've put them here and in the orientation that they go, so I don't mess that up. And then I've got to get these two bolts out right here, and that's going to be a 3/4. And these are actually torqued down, so I got to remember what the torque setting is on them when I put it back in and make sure that it's torqued down properly. So I'm going to break these free and see if we can get it out. Alright, so back on the 1271 Detroit diesel, cleaning out the inside of the air box there. This one I've got taped off and is already clean. I've scoped out some of the cylinders, which I took some pictures. I'll see. Let's see. There's one. So that's where the air goes. These are the air boxes here and here, and the air goes through the air coolers, which I just got back from the shop this morning, and the air goes into those little holes that you see there, and that's sort of the two-stroke works. On a normal cylinder, you wouldn't really. Normal four-stroke, you wouldn't have that. That's why those holes in the cylinder liners. Anyway, back to this. Here's the injector. I got the rockers out of the way, and then I've just got to get this bolt right there, which is what holds in the injector. It is a 9/16 wrench, so I'm going to undo that and then see if I can't jimmy this out, and we'll take a look at what the injector looks like. Okay, so that came right out, and that's what was right down in there, and we'll put this aside. And next step is to see if we can't work ourselves out. There's a little plunger. See that moving down there? So that's part of the injector. So I've got to get it out. This is the rack right here. So I got to somehow, but you got to finagle that little plunger. Tough to see, but that little plunger out, and then lift this whole thing up and wiggle it around and see if we can't get it out. So that's the next step. We'll see if we can't do that, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so it's like morning 5 of me working on this stupid injector. It's never as easy as it seems. So I've used like 15 different things here to pry this thing out. I finally got it to pop. You know, you try and not, that lever right there is the injector valve, so actuator, which is tied to the rack here, and then this is what makes the injector feed oil. So, you know, you don't want to be reefing on that and break that, because now you got a whole nother problem. So just a little timid to do this. So now I've got it popped out. So I felt it. Yeah. All right. So now, thank God, it's finally loose. Hopefully the collar didn't come with it. And I just moved it. I didn't even have to screw with it too much here, and it's popped out. So usually you've got to finagle it around the rack there. So let's see if we can't. Now get her out. Pull this back. Boom. Alright. She's out. Now it's a little wet, probably because I was throwing some PB down there. So I don't think it's... I'm guessing what happened was that the thing was all carboned up along here, which was making it stick in the hole. So the black stuff. So it's probably what it was, but you can see inside the hole. I don't have a light, but so one injector out. I'm going to take a look at this and inspect it. Check the nozzle here, which is where all of the fuel comes in and gets atomized inside the cylinder. But that's how you. And this is the thing that's attached to the rack right there, and so that slides in and out, which does very smoothly, which means that it's not locked up, which is really quite good. So, all right, I'm going to look at this. Thank God, day 5. I finally put enough pressure on it to get it out. So that is how you pull an injector out. Well, it should be done a lot quicker, but basically pull these two here, pull your stop right there, and then you should be able to just use 2 pry tools. That way you're not leveraging just one side or the other, and then it should just pop right out. So that's it. We're going to inspect it. Sometimes it's a lot harder than it looks or it seems, which is the case for pretty much everything. But finally, we have the injector out. Okay, so I just started to clean this, and you can see all of the carbon buildup that's coming off of the nozzle, which is right here. All that carbon came from up in here, and then you can see or not, this is the tip where all of the diesel comes out and gets atomized. So I'm probably going to end up going through, got them out. It doesn't take all that long, theoretically, if you just reef on them. Hopefully the other ones will come out a little bit easier, but we'll see. I'm probably going to go through and just clean them all up, and then I know I've got good injectors all the way through. So, big pieces of carbon. I don't want that breaking off inside the cylinder. That will cause some pretty good havoc in there. So, that's what we do. Alright, so I figured just for ha-has, let's work on cylinder number 2 here and see how long it actually takes me to do this, now that I'm not all that afraid to pry out the carbon off of this. So it takes me 2 seconds, so I've already done this and this, and I put them in the rack right next to it, or in the cylinder right next to it, in the order that they go. So this goes here, and then this goes here, and these are your fuel lines. So to start, this is a 1/2-inch wrench to get these out, and that's pretty easy to pop those out. Now, the next step is to get this stud and this stud out, which is 3/4. I think this is all torqued, so I think the torque setting final is 90 pounds on each one of those. I've already loosened them up. They were very difficult. Alright, so now those 2 are loose, so I should be able to lift all of this up here and pull these out. Back over here where this goes, so I don't confuse anything. They're all the same, but I try and be anal about things just the way they go. There's your set for your injector, so that will go there. This one, so those are out. Just gonna pull. Yeah. There we go. Okay. couldn't really dismantle this. Alright. That goes there. Everything else. I'm all out. I need to get these out of the way. There we go. Ugh. Always looks easy, but it's not. Now it's funny because the other one wasn't this hard to take out. So close. There we go. Alright. So we'll go there. Now, lift up. You can see that there's little galleries in here for oil, so it's all lubed up for the oil to come in. Just set that up there. Okay, so now I got to get my socket out for that. I forget what it is, 9/16 or something. Just take a guess. There we go. So for that, we're going to need 9/16. All right. Just grab the wrong one. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. This is also torqued down as well. So I've got the book upstairs in the pilot house. So when I go back and re-torque all these things, I'll get the torque settings on them. That aside. Okay. So that's your set. Put that aside. So now, here's the part where theoretically it should just kind of like pop out of here, but it doesn't. So I've got two little pry bars, this one and then this one. This is actually a if you guys are mechanics in old school drum brakes, this is how you adjust drum brakes. This is the little thing that goes into the wheel cylinder. So I have a 1970 VW bus, so I need a couple of these handy. So I'm going to put this one and this one in, and we're going to see if we can't put it here and here. And again, you want to try and do this as gently as possible, because you're reefing against other metal in the pump. Now that seemed to move. Oh, boom. Popped right out. That's it. Amazing. So this one took me a week to freak out about, and this one took me, I don't know, less than 5 minutes to pull out. It's a little piece of junk right here. You want to just get that out of the way. Okay. So now, again, it's still attached to the rack here, so I've got to move it sideways a little bit and just kind of wiggle it up and out, and then move the plunger. There we go. And move the plunger up to move it away. So there it is. I mean, that took me literally 9:52. I think I started at 9:47. So the injector's out. I don't know if you can see or not, but this whole thing is covered in. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, so I'm glad I'm taking that out. It's just nasty. It's just the way it is, but I mean, a lot of oil in there. It's probably not good. There's the oil in there. Alright, well, I'm going to clean this up and see what we got. So that's it, man. I mean, that's about as easy as it gets for pulling those things out. Like I said, I just had such a hard time with that other one right there. Just major pain in the butt. And, you know, when you do something, I haven't done this in a really long time, and when you do something for the first time, or first time in a long time, you kind of second guess yourself. So that's it. It's really pretty easy. Here, I'll show you inside again. So less than 5 minutes. We'll clean this up and see what it looks like. Okay, also going to cylinder number 3. Also has a lot of oil on it. Pretty wet. Oil. Okay, the farther aft I get, or back to the back of the engine, focusing on that, there's a lot more carbon buildup on these. So much junk is on there, and that's the, barely see it right there, and right there. See that little hole? That's where all of the fuel comes out of. And it's again, be wet down in there. Hog it out, clean it out. And this aft one, I'm looking at, is very interesting. I think that's just overspray. But it was a lot of debris. Yeah. Overshot the mark on that one. So I'll clean all that up. That's just spray paint. Yeah, just rattle canning some of this. Just to kind of clean it up. Alright, I'm going to continue on.